Hi everyone and welcome. Today we have a review this TG-77. It's a 3-band pocket radio available from AliExpress, and at the time of recording this costs £7.49 UK, but that does include tax and shipping, and that works out around about $10 US. Now it does pay to shop around on AliExpress because there are several stores selling this all at different prices. So let's open it up and let's see what we get for our money. First of all, you get a little USB-C lead for recharging the internal battery, always useful. And then we've got the set itself. They give you a little set of instructions, but to be honest, it's a simple set. You don't really need these. And then you've got the receiver itself. As you can see, it is rather compact. You could actually call this a true pocket-sized radio. Now, dimensions, we're looking at a radio that is 116 millimeters high, 71 wide by around about 32 millimeters deep. Let's just give it the old mugshot test that we do on this channel just for size comparison. There we go. So looking at a little bit more detail, as I say, it covers 3 bands. So first of all, we've got FM. Coverage on that is between 87 and 108 megahertz. AM is between 522 and 1620 kilohertz. And then finally, we've got shortwave, and that's between 5.9 all the way up to 18 megahertz, so not quite covering the full shortwave spectrum. Below that, we've got a little LED for power, and that indicates when you actually got the radio on. So if you switch the volume right down but not fully off, it just saves you wasting your battery. Below that, we've got our little speaker. Now, according to the specs, that's rated at 3 watts. Well, I'll say that the speaker may be rated at that, but this probably gives out 200 or 300 milliwatts, which, to be honest, is more than adequate for a little receiver of this size. So, turning to the left-hand side, we've got a little 3.5mm jack there for your headphones, and it's just a mono output, but that's absolutely fine. And then below that, we've got our volume and on-off control. Aerial, 330mm long. It rotates 180 degrees, but unfortunately, it doesn't swivel. Now, going on to the right-hand side, as you can see, we've got our tuning thumb wheel there. Below that, we've got our 3-way wideband selection, and then we've got our little USB-C connector port there. Little LED there, also giving when it's actually recharging, which is a nice point. And turning to the back, we've got our battery compartment. Now, this is really tight, so I'm going to have to get a little screwdriver just to open that up, just to flick it open without breaking it. There we go. There we go. Now, your first impressions are, oh, that's a little rechargeable AA battery. It's not. It's a 14500 rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and it's rated around about 500 milliamp hours, not as 1000 milliamp hours it says on the AliExpress website. So just be a little bit careful, because if you try recharging that on a standard AA recharger, it ain't gonna like it. So let's pop the cover back on and get that right. Got it backwards. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all test it on AM and FM, and then we'll give it a good test on shortwave. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so the first test is going to be on FM performance. So let's pop our little aerial up. Make sure we select it to FM. Let's pop it on. Let's see what we can find. A little power LED there, as you can see.
In the audience, I'm sure, love to visit other people's gardens for pleasure, tips and inspiration.
Sound quality is actually quite good, surprisingly enough.
Cross in, and Weir has to make sure gets it behind for a corner. Run away while we're running in circles.
I can't really hold it on stations for fear of copyright infringement, but I'll keep going along. Hopefully you'll get a good idea of its performance.
Help with a decision.
station. And you lovely lot have been in. Right, you've had me like 3 hours. The Hits Radio Throwback is on.
I've done it ever since I must have read the evening paper then. Oh yes, I'm sure my life.
It's actually pretty good. It's nice and clear, which I didn't think we was going to get. I thought we was going to get quite a tinny performance, but that's not too bad considering the price point. So let's see what AM performance is like there. So I'm going to pop that back on again. It might pick up some noise off the LED light, so just bear with me on that. Let's see what we can do.
Reignite them vibes from back in the day. That is what we do. Saying that, who remembers an artist called Just? It is benched. Eastman and Williams return to the side. Vastly experienced Trey Sears leads the line. And white letters on the Claret surround.
I'm pleasantly surprised by the AM performance, to be honest, because where I live, and that's smack in the middle of the UK, they are shutting quite a few of the AM stations down. So we actually picked up quite a few, more than what I thought we was going to do. So that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is give it a good testing on shortwave. So let's take a look at that. So it's time to see what shortwave performance is like now. Now I'm being a little bit cruel to this set because I'm actually doing this during the daytime, so I'm making it work harder. Also, you probably noticed the lighting is reduced down just an incandescent bulb. That just saves the propagation of electrical noise on the shortwave bands from the LED lighting. So let's put it onto shortwave. Let's pop our little aerial up and see how it performs. I have no idea what's transmitting at this moment in time, but let's find out. I'll try and do it as slowly as I can. As you can probably appreciate, selectivity is not the best just with a single sweep of our scale, but nevertheless, let's see what we can find.
Continue till 5 minutes past 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's Central European time.
Have suffered life-threatening injuries. They had arrested 2 suspects at the station. Program yapımcımız Eda Kotanoğlu. Dünyanın dört bir yanından sesimizin ulaştığı herkese sevgiler.
Kağıt formu, altyapı. مع العلم يعني يظل القدم إلى الواقع الجديد، وأضاف فيها أن رغم أن الاتفاق لا
That's actually surprised me. I didn't think it was going to pick up much, but this actually picked up quite a few stations. I'm actually quite impressed with this little set. So what I'm going to do now is put the lighting back to normal and we can continue from there. So we have the lighting back to normal levels now. So what are my concluding thoughts on this little TG-77 3-band radio? Well, I have to confess, initially I wasn't expecting much, especially given the price point. I thought performance was going to be mediocre at best. But it actually surprised me, especially on shortwave, considering we were testing in the daytime. It seemed to punch well above its weight. And looking at the build quality, that seems decent enough. The ABS plastics, the moulding, the printing, they all seem fine, especially when you consider the price point of this little set. So, do I recommend it? Actually, I do. I think this is well worth considering. If you just have a little receiver, maybe just to pop in your pocket, maybe just going out for a hike somewhere in the countryside, and you just want to take a radio along with you. And at this price, again, you don't mind if you damage it, if you drop it, it's easily replaceable and it's not going to break the bank. So there you have it. It's the TG-77 3-band radio. And all that leaves me to say is, as always, I appreciate you watching and I'll catch up with you soon.